Welcome to India Today Sosouth. I'm Sarah Fazil, and today I'm joined by my guest Krishna, who is the mind behind the X page Drivesmart, where he basically gives us some absolutely scientific ways as to how one can learn how to drive smartly, defensive driving, and so much more on that front. But why are we going to be talking about this today? Like we know that according to a private survey, we have heard that the statistics tell us that close to 22,000 drivers in the city of Bangalore who own cars have reported about how they have experienced 55% of road rage incidences in the last 6 months. That's 55% of the 22,000 car owners in Bangalore have spoken about witnessing road rage. Welcome to India Today, Sosouth Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
So, Krishna, your two words on, the increasing amount of road rage cases that we have been witnessing in the last 6 months in the city of Bangalore, before we can actually go and check out a few and see what could have been done differently in order to avoid it.
Recently, I have seen a lot of road rage cases in Bangalore, and also I have seen cases where mostly we attribute it to high number of vehicles on the road. That is one reason. Another reason, I have seen some road rage cases where there are no vehicles on the road. There are only two cars playing, but still they end up getting into road rage. So we don't know how the other person reacts. We don't know who is sitting inside the car, what his mindset is. So that's the trigger. So what triggers him? The issue can be triggered due to any reason. So as there are high number of vehicles, there are more chance of getting someone triggered into a road rage situation. So in Bangalore, we have seen more cases because of the density, and we can see most cases happen only on a specific routes where the density is high at specific times of the day, mostly while going to office or in the evening hours when they are returning from office. So that there is a pattern there. Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some of the cases that I have compiled, Krishna. India Today Sosouth is going to be sharing a few cases with you, which I'm pretty sure even you would have come across. So let's take it case by case, and probably we can react to this video once we finish watching it, where you can tell us that what differently could have been done in that situation.
The number you have dialed is currently busy.
So this is the dash cam on the driver's car, and it's recording the traffic and whatever's happening. Yeah, so we can see a slight altercation that's already begun here.
Yeah.
ಉಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಯಾರು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಉಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದೇನೆ ಏನ್ ಕುಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗೋದು ಏನ್ ಉಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಉಚ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದು ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ
So now whatever happens, both are triggered now.
ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡಿತಾನೆ ಇದೀನಿ ತಾನೆ.
This is an avoidable case.
Right.
You see that the driver had moved to left, right? There is no need to move left again because he can see bikes there. So he has to again move to right. He has to cut off the car again, the cab again. So he should know that instead of doing that, he could have simply followed the cab.
Yeah.
So what the driver did is he tried to move left and then tried to cut across the cab.
Right. So
those are not required.
Let's just see what happens so that we can come back and have like a proper.
Sure.
So there's a lot of like abusive altercation between both of them.
True.
He has passengers also in his cab, like we can see here. He's taking something to attack. That's the rear view mirror.
ಹಾ
ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅವನು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಅವನು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ ನೋಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ಕಾರ್ ನೋಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ನನ್ನ ನೋಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದ ನನ್ನನ್ನ. ಏಯ್ ಅಲ್ಲೋಡು, ಏಯ್ 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 ಮುಚ್ಚು, ಮುಚ್ಚು. ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನು, ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನು, ನನ್ಗೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಹೊಡಿ, ಅವ್ನು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಡೋರ್ ತೆಗ್ದೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಅವನು, ಅಲ್ಲೋಡಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ನು ಡೋರ್ ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಸ್ಪ್ರೇ ಅಂತ ತಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ನು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ನು ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ ನನ್ನ. ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವನು.
We saw a very heated verbal altercation between the two. If you can explain to us what really happened here.
Yeah, the car driver, if you see in the beginning, he moved left. He can see bikes parked there. So he cannot continue driving on the left. He has to come back to right again because of the parked bikes. So he should observe that and avoid moving left. He could have simply followed the cab. So instead of that move, so when he tried to move to right, the car driver is already there, the cab driver.
Right.
So he felt because when you are moving so close, everybody is worried that somebody will hit them. So because it's again a damage.
Correct.
When you are moving so close to each other, so car driver is also worried. So he started horn. Then this Dashcam driver again started using horn.
Yeah.
So when excessive horn always triggers. So a single beep makes a point. After that is always road rage.
Correct.
So that moving to left is not necessary there. He could have simply followed. In dense traffic, what I do is I just follow the vehicle ahead.
There's not
if
much
I have to
you
move
can
left,
do. Right.
then not much. If you have to move right, left, you try to move right, left. In between, everybody have to adjust around yourself. So
Right.
somebody may not like that.
Right.
So they will start showing some hand gestures or
Right.
horn. They will use light. So we should avoid that. So what we have to do is just have a plan. If you have to move left, so stick to left. If you have to move right, if you have to take a right turn, stick to right and just follow the vehicles. Instead of on a dense traffic, nobody can escape. So that single move cannot make him move go some 5 minutes early. Again, everyone will be stuck there.
True.
So those are not required. It will slow everyone down.
All right. Can we see incident number 2?
Yeah.
All right. So incident number 2. This is something that we will have to give a background to, Krishna. It's about that boy who was chased by these 2 people in a car and killed.
Yes, I've seen
Yes,
this
the
clip.
Vidyaranyapura incident. Since the only footage about this story was how they were chasing the bike of the delivery boy, and they ended up, he ended up meeting with an accident while they were chasing him. And this is post the incident because there's not much footage available on what really happened.
Normally after a crash or any road race, nobody around knows exactly what happened.
Exactly.
So people, they form into two sides and they start arguing. Nobody knows who is right, who is wrong. So generally the blame goes to the bigger vehicle. So we don't know until see that.
Correct. So, like we know, Krishna, in this case of the Vidya Ranyapura incident that also happened recently, of this delivery boy who was chased after an altercation with two people who were in a car. And then it so happened that these people got enraged with him. They started chasing him to a level where he meets with an accident. And this incident that we saw was post the accident. Now, we don't really know much because there was not much footage available as to what
Yes.
happened. So if you can tell us in this case, how it could have been probably avoided.
Generally, it's called phenomenon. It's called red mist. So normally, when you are driving, your driving goal is to go to a destination. But on in between, if somebody cuts you off, now you want to chase him. So you are occupied only with that task. You are not bothered about anything else. So it's just like a mist over your head. You are covered only with that task. So normally this training is given as a psychological training to drivers, especially ambulance drivers, police, highway patrol. For example, they are chasing a criminal. So an ambulance is going very fast to transport a patient.
Right.
So we have seen many cases where ambulances getting into accident because they haven't observed the traffic, because their only goal is to go to the destination, a hospital, as early as possible. So these drivers are mainly, they get into this kind of red mist scenarios, or where our mind will be on only meeting that objective of tackling some guy who had cut us off,
Right.
or something else, but not on the road.
Right.
So we have to identify that triggers in us, and we have to control it. Everyone has to take that responsibility when we are on the road.
Right.
Whenever somebody, for example, if somebody cuts me off, normally I don't care. For example, assume I'm in a bad mood. If somebody cuts me off, I may react differently. So I need to identify that triggers and stop reacting. Yeah.
Got it. So we can move to video number 3.
Yeah. This is the ambulance. Yeah, I can see the third one. Yeah.
So we see a car at a traffic signal. The red light.
Yeah.
There you go. So we just saw what happened. I've cut it down to that much because I want to get to the point of it. You have a person who's recording this on his cameras, his car's camera's dash cam, right? And he says that the person in front of me, there was a red light signal, which means you had to stop so that you could allow the people to pass. But this guy happens to just like almost mow down on that other person who was trying to cross till that guy stops him and comes, and he's seen obviously getting into an argument with him. Your take on this?
Normally it happens in signals. Even if you are, for example, this happened at a red light, but this can happen on a green light as well. So what happens is, this is called inattentional blindness. It happens near signals. Our focus is only on the signal light. We fail to notice pedestrians, cyclists, bikers who will be blinded by the A pillar of the car.
Right.
So what they come as, they will suddenly appear in front of us as a sudden surprise. So instead of that, so drivers, what they have to do is, when they stop at a signal, they just have to move their head a little bit and observe any pedestrians who are trying to cross, etc. So in India, we don't implement the right of way rules very strictly. So otherwise, at a zebra crossing and a red light, if somebody is violating that, it's a big offense in foreign countries.
Right.
Here, because there the pedestrians have the right of way. So here we don't know that if the driver had seen the pedestrian or not. If in both cases, if for example, if he had not seen him, then we have to consider it as his focus is on the signal light only. He want to get away. He didn't notice. For example, if he has seen him and still going, means it's not correct. He should have given way.
Right. Got it.
Especially near a zebra crossing, if, for example, the same pedestrian is walking across the road at a place where there is no signal light or a zebra crossing, then we can understand that the drivers are suddenly expected to stop. But this happened at an intersection, so this is an avoidable case again.
Right.
They have to make an effort
He's
to
sensitive.
spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because if a pedestrian have to cross a road of 2 lanes, it will take at least 10 seconds for them. So
Right.
we have to be little sensitive to their needs.
Okay. Okay. Are we ready for our next video?
Yeah.
So there were these two
But this,
bikers who seem to have
yeah.
had this. Asking him to put down his glass, I suppose. So they've chased him and his family for quite a bit, even after the scuffle took place in that area. And they continue to chase him for the next couple of kilometers. This happened in Whitefield in Siddhapura last year.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So he's trying to escape here, but and I think he finally drives away, but they still don't leave him.
Yeah. What was the trigger for this? Did they say anything?
So yes, so basically he tried to say that they came while he was driving on the other road prior to this, when we saw that they came and touched his car actually. And they happened to like get into a scuffle with him. They actually brushed his car and they were the ones who went and stopped ahead of his car after that and got into it. It was told that this guy was with his family. He was driving where these guys come and they slightly touch his car or something of that sort, or they clash. And then they just come and park their bike in front of the car and they just start having a altercation with him. Now, what he had to say is that it's not like I went and, rammed into them or I clashed into them. It was a clash where they came and touched my car and they went and stopped in front of my car and they started it. There were also reports that these guys were in a drunk, condition when all of this had happened, because they've chased him for the next good 3 kilometers after that and they didn't let him go.
Yeah.
So he said there was no big accident, there was no big incident for them to have indulged in this kind of a rage that they did, where they were threatening him, where they were trying to take stones and trying to, pelt, which they didn't do. But it all seems to be like there's a constant mode of attack here.
Yeah. So this normally what happens is these guys, we don't know what happened before this incident.
Yeah.
Like we haven't not seen it. But what happens is we don't know who we are dealing with on the road. So what I always say is maintain at least 1 meter distance from bikers, cyclists, pedestrians when you are driving on the road. I have seen many cars, they just go very close to bikers and cut them off.
Right.
A single touch is enough for the biker to fall. And he will be angered. So maintain distance, drive safely within city roads. That could have been avoided because we have not seen the previous clip. Only thing is when you see a cyclist or a biker, normally one more pattern I've observed is if you see more a triple riding bikers, mostly they are high risk takers. They know that if they fall, they will be injured. But still they are riding triple. So they know the risks, but still they are taking it. So they will be enraged easily. So maintain a little distance from triple riding bike.
I'm pretty sure you would have come across the next incident that I'm going to be talking to you about, which happened with this couple who was returning from a holiday, and you had this bouncer on a bike who had happened to actually come and hit their car. and he stops, and then he hits the windshield with
Ah,
stone and damages it, and the child inside the car gets injured, and the mother screaming, and the guy who's at the wheel, the husband, he's telling the bouncer who's outside that don't do that, there's a child in the car, why are you doing that? So that is another incident which I have said. So let's take a
yeah.
look at this incident, Krishna.
ମୁଁ କରୁଛି ମୁଁ ଭିଡିଓ କରୁଛି ବ୍ୟାକ୍ କରିକି ପଳେଇବୁ ମା ଛୁଆ ଅଛି
बच्चा है एक सेकंड
ବାବୁ ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ପଳା ପାପା ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ପଳା ପାପା ଆସ୍ତେ ଆସ୍ତେ ପଳା
बच्चा है अंदर बच्चा है अंदर टेंशन मत लो पुलिस स्टेशन चलो भाई टेंशन लो यार टेंशन मत लो कूल कोई भी कुछ भी नहीं करेगा आराम से करो पुलिस को कॉल नंबर बताओ नंबर 1033 यार मैं कॉल करता हूँ ऐसे नहीं करना रुको
Yes, so what do you have to react to this, Krishna, about this bouncer losing his cool and attacking this couple?
I've seen that recently. So what I observed is the car driver saw another vehicle stopped in the before him. So to avoid hitting him, he suddenly moved left. So biker came and crashed behind
Yeah.
him. So that's what happened. So I feel the mistake lies with the car driver there,
Okay.
because he should not change lanes suddenly. He should use indicator, give some time for traffic behind to adjust. He said abruptly moved.
Correct.
So he could have avoided that. So in what conditions so he is traveling faster than required there. That's why he felt that he may crash into the vehicle ahead. If he is driving a little slower, then it could have been avoided.
So
So
speed
what
is
happened
something
after that
that-
is just road rage.
Yeah.
Speed. One more thing is we cannot abruptly change lanes whenever we see an obstacle.
Correct.
Because the people behind us, they may be assuming that we are going straight on the right lane.
Correct.
So that if you see a gap on the road, we feel we are seeing the gap.
Correct.
But all the drivers behind us also are seeing the gap, same gap. If two people are eyeing the same gap, definitely there will be a clash. So that's what creates a lot of close calls. So we have to give our indicator, we have to let them know that we are moving there.
Right.
So it could have been avoided if some safe driving practices are followed.
Perfect. So these were the incidences that you saw, Krishna, and you reacted to it. You told us what could have been avoided. What are some of the measures that people can take in these kind of situations? Is there anything at all before we wind up this discussion that you would want any person who is somebody who drives on a daily basis or frequently, that they need to keep in mind to avoid such situations?
Yeah. So my recommendation is in dense traffic, if you're traveling in on dense traffic roads or dense traffic times, avoid constant lane changes. So have a plan in mind. If you have to take a left turn after 5 kilometers, you stick to left lane.
Right.
If you have to take a right turn, you move to right early instead of abruptly changing, because sometimes, for example, at the flyover entry points, people will be merging from the left, right, because they have not picked the right lane begin the early stage. So choose your lane on dense traffic roads. And one more thing is have a calm and composed mind and avoid any provocations. Sometimes some people will take even on hand gestures, even flashing of lights as a provocation.
Yeah.
Just saying sorry, you don't lose a thing. In a road rage situation, both are losers. Both are losing their time and yeah. So just saying sorry, we don't lose anything. Just pass on.
Yeah.
If and I always say this, like we meet the bad drivers on the road only for a few seconds. Just ignore them.
Yeah.
And don't make it a lifelong relationship with them. Either use police case or hospital, anything.
Yeah.
Just ignore them for those few seconds, and you'll be peaceful.
Thank you so much, Krishna. It was indeed a pleasure to have you on India Today Sosouth to raise awareness on, safety. What is driving safely, and what is some of the safety tips one needs to keep in mind while you're on the road. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.